All right, my friends, I want to show you this grow light that I bought on Amazon. This thing is really, really cool. There's two things you need to know about this glow light before you buy it to make sure you get the right one. So I'm going to talk about those two things in just a second. First, I just want to talk about features and how this thing is set up. So first of all, you obviously have these long UV lights on a very bendable, moldable stem. So you can really move this thing to any shape, anywhere you need it to go. That's really important when you think about how you're going to mount this thing. Okay, so these have, as you can see, these have lots of little LED lights in them right here. I don't know how many it has in there, but that allows you to get a lot of different temperatures, or sorry, not temperatures, but brightnesses from this light. So, and the multiple lights is nice too, because you can switch between 1 or 2 or 2 and 4, that sort of thing. Now, these hold their shape pretty well. When you bend them into a direction, they're going to stay there for the most part, okay? One of the things that you need to know about this before you buy it was a surprise to me, is I wasn't quite sure how large the clip was and how well it would actually clip to things, how strong it was. So it's a pretty sizable clip. It has some pads here on the insides of the clip, so you don't have to worry about clipping it to certain pieces of furniture. If you've got plants on a nice credenza or something like that, this isn't going to damage the surfaces of that furniture. The second thing is that this clip is really strong. I have to try pretty hard to open it and close it, which is a good thing because you're not opening and closing it often if you're not moving it a lot. And that just means it's going to keep it really, really stable wherever you decide to mount it. Now, the next thing you should know about this thing is how it plugs in. So it's got a USB end there and comes with a USB power bank. So, but you can use whatever power bank you have available to you. You just plug that right into it and it powers right up, okay? The cord on this thing is about, I haven't measured it, but when it's complete, I've got it bundled up a little bit here already, but when it's completely out, it's about 7 feet of cord. So you want to make sure either you're going to need an extension cord, or you're close enough to an outlet, your plant's close enough to an outlet that that's going to reach. Now, the second thing I think you should really know before buying this is that the control is halfway between the cord. So this isn't a problem, or either way, it's not a problem or an advantage. Just know that wherever you put this and wherever you stretch the cord to, you're going to need access to this, which is the controls. Now, you might not need access to it often, so don't worry too much about that, because I'm going to talk about the timer feature here in just a second. Okay, so on this control panel, we have a plus and minus button that controls the brightness of these lights and the darkness. We also have a rotation button. What this does is it changes the combination of lights. So you can have these two at once, or you can have these two at once, or you can have all four at once. Now, so that's helpful depending on the plants that you have, and you want to make sure you understand the light that your plant needs before you decide which combination of lights to use. Second, and probably the best option I see available on this thing, or the best feature rather, is the timer. So you've got 3 hours, 9 hours, and 12 hours. Now, so you can rotate through this depending on how long you want your plants to have light. And this has been really helpful. I've both done the 12-hour, and then I have also done full light all the time. And I had some plants like this one behind me that can take light all the time. And so it wasn't any problem leaving them on all of the time. They don't get too hot at all. They don't get hot at all, really. And I've left them on for days and weeks and months. Sometimes when I'm putting them with plants, I've got other ones throughout the house when I'm putting them with plants that don't need as much light, I'll use the 9 or 12-hour. And that would simulate your daylight, right? That would simulate the sun going up and going down. And then finally, of course, you just have a power button right here on the bottom of the controls. I've absolutely loved having these lights around. I've got multiple of them, and we're in a basement where not a lot of natural light gets in, and I still want to have plants and things that make it feel alive, and so this is the perfect solution. Here's a side note to it, is I also really just love having the light that resembles sunlight down in here in this darker space. It's nicer than like an overhead incandescent light. It just is really, for me, it's been a nice ambiance and a mood booster. You can see I have a bigger one behind me as well, and I just love having those lights on to create something new in the atmosphere, or create something nicer in the atmosphere. So I've loved having these lights. I hope you like them as much as I have.